what actually happened on January 6th. The FBI had 26 confidential human sources there that day. Of the 26 confidential human sources who were in D.C. on Jan 6th, 4 entered the Capitol during the riot. An additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. So more than a dozen FBI spies participated in the so-called insurrection. A bunch of them broke into the Capitol. Their own inspector general says this is what happened. But that's not what they told you when they testified under oath.
Those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th, how many were there?
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
Where do you think this idea comes from, that this was somehow done by the feds?
I heard that one of the debaters said it was an inside job. It's an inside job on the part of Donald Trump and his henchmen.
Republicans have blamed the FBI and said it was an inside job.
It certainly was not an inside job by FBI agents or Antifa. They go around blaming it on Antifa and FBI agents.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Politics have become very, very controversial in our country, which is, you go back in history and look at all the great countries over the years, over the decades and millennials. When countries get as old as ours, it's a typical direction because there's always somebody who wants to be in charge.
Yeah.
Well, what Washington and every government, just government in general, what they have forgotten, their job is to serve the people. And we've lost this ideal of going into elected positions to serve the people. They call this these are service jobs. Well, what happened to the service part? And we see it at all levels of government now.
Yeah. In the last 4 years, we see them coming after their own people instead of serving their own people.
Right. And you may be part of one little political tribe, but the minute you say something that the tribe doesn't like, now you're ostracized. And so it's become a very ugly experience. And I'm hoping that we learn something as a culture about how we've just spiraled down into this nasty, ugly look. And you've explained it very well, how ugly we can treat one another, for political or just selfish reasons. You probably thought you knew yourself pretty well before all this happened. What is the one thing, if there is, that you have been most surprised to learn about yourself through this whole process? I can only imagine.
The discipline, my military helped me get through it. The discipline that I needed that I learned in the military helped me get through everything that I went through and to control myself and not. I've seen a lot of people, regular criminals and stuff, they lash out here and there and there and there. I mean, I learned that I was proud of myself for this one, but I got to give credit to God, man, because I am a Christian, and my whole journey, God has guided me, especially in the prison that I was in. I was guided in prison and kept safe that whole time and everything. Everybody in that prison, including the unit officers and all the inmates, all races, knew that I shouldn't have been in there. I was the only inmate in there looked at differently. Everybody knew I should have been.
So you really were innocent?
No,
everybody in prison is innocent, right?
Well, they all tell me I'm not innocent. I didn't commit a crime, but you didn't. You shouldn't be here, guys. So they all those guys would admit it. But yeah, man, I don't know. God really was there for me, man. That's true.
So has this situation tainted your belief system of democracy and government and the will of the people? Do you have a different opinion now on the whole idea of government and politics?
I don't now that President Trump's back in. I think he's going to clean it up. But before, I was really scared for our country. I thought that the whole DOJ was done with, fairness, the Constitution, your First Amendment rights, your Second Amendment rights, was all going to be coming to an end really soon. And if we didn't, and if President Trump didn't win this election, that's where we were headed. We were going to lose our Second Amendment and our First Amendment rights. And I have hope. I have hope, and I love our country, and I think we're going to be good. I think the people that are out there. I mean, you saw. Oh man, President Trump won all the swing states and everything. We're good. I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah. Well, if you could, and I'm going to give you this opportunity. I don't know who's going to watch this. I hope everybody. I hope we get 10 million people excited about learning the truth. If you could just look out and tell the American people right now today that what would you want the people of this great country to understand and to know about why this country matters, what would you say?
Yeah. This country was created on an idea. It wanted to be different from any other country and not to be under a king rule or whatever. What would I want them to know?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know what to say, man, about that. Love your country, man, and I can't even remember what you said. That's
okay. Let me make it even easier for you. For those people out there who continue to say insurrectionist, what do you want to say to them in reflection to truth, and what should they begin to understand?
So everyone who keeps doing the insurrectionist thing, nobody was charged with insurrection, for one. For two, it wasn't an insurrection. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest. Nobody went there to do nothing else but to protest the certification of the president, the election. My message for that is the insurrection was done on election night when it got stolen. That was the insurrection, and that's what I got to say about that.
That's good.
Nobody's an insurrectionist, except for the election.
Well, I'm a big family guy, and I know Bear's too, big family guy, and I know your family has been majorly disrupted. I want to sit here and say I'm sorry. I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about what you had to go through. You and the other 1,600 people who stood up and said, "Hey, let's think about this." How has your family and how have you been hurt?
Well, I lost my kids, and I've been out for a week and a half now, and I still haven't been able to see them because they've moved so far away in another state. So I was real close to my kids. Before the pardon came and before Trump got elected, it was really, really hard on my family. And, my dad has cancer and was dying of that. And so he promised me a long time. I didn't think I was going to be out in time before maybe, the Lord took him, but he promised me he was going to stay around before, until I got out. But man, dude, the damage it does to the families is just a lot. It broke families up, and almost most J6ers lost everything, including myself. I lost everything. The only thing that I have left is my truck, and I don't know why they didn't repo it, but they didn't. But right now I got to come up with there's $22,000 in that payments right now that I got to try to pay. So, but other than that, I got some clothes left. But like I said, I'm not the only one. This happened to most J6ers. We lost everything because these houses that got raided, the FBI left them open and people just went in and out of there. With my house, I had some friends go over there, and without me being able to communicate with them because I was in jail, they went in there and they were like, "Oh, they had good intentions to go in there and trying to sell things to help me because they thought I was going to get a bomb, which nobody would hit the bomb." But So I had God going in there and trying to sell things, and for pennies on a dollar, really. But I think there was a lot of stuff left there because I was renting, and so the renters came in and they kept everything else or whatever. So I lost everything, man. Like the clothes, I had a few clothes left, but I'm just kind of rebuilding my life right now, and that's the hardest part. Is coming out not having nothing. I'm 47 years old, man, and I have nothing. That's the depressing part. I'm having to live with my dad and my brother. I'm living in 2 different spots. I mean, I've only been out a week and a half now, but yeah, it's ruined some lives, man. But I think God's gonna take care of everybody, and hopefully some restitution comes. One thing that's been hard with my unique situation is how I was held illegally. It's been real hard to find a lawyer that was brave enough to come in and take this case and represent me in a lawsuit. Most of them before Trump got elected were scared because they were being retaliated on by the government. My lawyer lost a bank account. I can't remember what bank it was, but Bank of America and Chase. If there was lawyers representing J6ers, they were going in and cutting our accounts and saying we're not going to have business with you. I had Chase Bank whenever I got arrested, right? Well, they ended up sending letters to my family saying we don't want your business no more because I was arrested for J6 and they kicked me out. And so I had to go out. My dad had to go and get me a whole other bank account because my VA money, I had to get that. There was a lot of persecution going on by liberal companies, or I'll say liberal companies because of their decisions that they made against us, rather than just the DOJ, our government doing that. But man, yeah, most of us lost everything, dude.
On a positive note, what did you learn, and what have you become stronger as a man in? What area has this built you?
My Christianity my Christianity, that the number one. God got me through it. I prayed every day in prison and jail and stuff, and my relationship with God got a lot closer. I was a Christian before, but my relationship with God, my personal relationship with Jesus, has gotten so much closer, man. I mean, if it wasn't for Jesus, I don't know what would have happened to me in prison. I was in the most dangerous prison, and that's my Christianity, man. It got built up in that little bit.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And I come out coming out of prison, I come out wanting to be better. I wanted to be a better man. I wasn't a bad man before, but I wanted to be a better man coming out than I was coming in prison. You know what I mean? That was my goal. The whole time that was my goal. And it is. There's things that I did before prison that I said I wouldn't do when I got out of prison. I'm going to, change things.
I love the fact that you're going down. Chap and I talk about it all the time. The spiritual journey, and man, like what God wants us to be. Yeah. And I'm an Old Testament guy. We did a podcast on that. I'm almost done with the New Testament, man. But it fills me with joy, and it brings me hope that even after all you've endured, man, you came out with a good head, and it brought you closer to the belief system, right? It brought you closer to God.
It did.
And that's what we all try to be. Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
I mean, that is good stuff, bro.
Yeah, it was. I had to have it without Jesus, man. Who knows what would have happened? Really, for real. I mean, I was in a bad spot. I mean, you just don't. Things that I didn't have to get involved with in prison just doesn't happen. But like I said, everybody knew I shouldn't have been there. I didn't. Most people everybody else that goes into prison, when you're all locked down, they have to put in work, and what that means is they have to go stab somebody, they have to go fight somebody, they have to go beat somebody up, they have to deal drugs or do drugs, and I didn't have to do. I never was asked to do any of that. And like I said, man, I was well taken care of by God. That's God's work there, and then I give Him glory for that.
So, I guess at this point, what's next? What do you see in your future? Where are you going?
Well, what I see is I'm getting back on my feet, and And since I've been out, I've had a lot of people call me and ask me, what are you going to do? You know, what we want you back to serving the communities like I was before. And so what do you want to do? We want to build the Patriot Boys. We want to, and we want you to lead it, you know, and continue to lead it and serve communities throughout the whole country. And that's what a lot of people want me to do. And I've been praying a lot about it because I am nervous about getting back into doing that, you know, because I don't want to be persecuted by we're in a good spot right now with this government. Like, we're safe with this government. What happens? And I keep thinking, well, what happens if we have another election and the deep state and the Democrat, the liberals get in power? Then they're going to come after people like me again, you know, and stuff. And we don't do nothing wrong, but they hate it when you love your country, and they hate it that you're helping. Because when the citizens are helping each other, and it makes the government look bad. You know what I mean? And that's what we were doing. The whole border thing, we were making them look bad because they weren't doing nothing. We were helping each other. The people came together, and they hated it. So getting back into that, I really want to. Like, I haven't been out that long, so I'm still praying about it and stuff. I feel God is pushing me to do that, and not letting them win. And because the only losers, if I don't lead that and get to serve the communities again, the only losers is the people that need help. You know, they're going to lose out and stuff. The communities are going to lose out. So I'm nervous about doing that again, but like I said, I've been praying a lot about it. I think God is pushing me more into doing stuff like that. I'm still waiting to get a clearer path on that, but I want to continue helping people, man, and helping the country. I don't want to stop. I'm real passionate about it, just like I was before, and I want to do whatever I can do. And when the path comes, the door opens, and I'm going to walk through it. Yeah.
Excellent, Bear. But man, I'm still just in awe. And I'm sitting there racking my brain for different vectors that I can hook you up with, and different guys that I can introduce you to.
I love serving, man. I love serving the people.
So I know there's a bunch of you guys that have a lot of these financial problems, a lot of these challenges financially. How can we help? How can we help you? How can not just Chaos Project, but how can every listener that sees and hears this, how can they help you get your car paid back? I know you're going to have legal fees. How can we help you?
I have a Give Send Go account. We started off doing GoFundMe a long time ago, but the GoFundMe organization does not want to have anything to do with Jay Sixers. Mm-hmm. So a Christian group came in and started this it's GiveSendGo.com. And if you go to GiveSendGo.com and you can search Lucas Denney, LucasDenney, then there's a donation thing that comes up and you can donate there. And man, any help that I hate asking for help, and I didn't for a long time, but someone told me that to swallow my pride and not be afraid to ask for help. But it's GiveSendGo.com. You search Lucas Denney, I come up. There's a picture of me in my military gear. I was flying in a Chinook helicopter over Iraq, and then there's another one of me actually down at the border a couple of weeks before I got arrested. Oh, wow. So, but any donations will help. I think it's up to 10,000 right now, but I think about 7,000 of that has gone to legal fees. That was paid for lawyers and stuff like that. And then a lot of it went to commissary to help me in commissary whenever I was locked up. So I have about $1,400, but any donations can help. And I'm trying to save my truck. I'm trying to get another house, at least a travel trailer. I'll be happy with a travel trailer just to get out of my dad's house, right? 47 years old.
Well, I'm convinced that there are thousands of patriots out there that would love an opportunity or some way, even if small, to help you get back on track. And some of these other fellows and ladies that are having the same issues that you have. And I found out a long time ago, when thousands and thousands of people come together, even for a small amount, it turns into a life-changing amount. And so I personally will encourage and am encouraging and to see that we at least support you
definitely in our prayers.
Appreciate it. Prayers.
And those who feel like they can help you financially, I'm asking you to help. And Lucas isn't the only one. If there's others out there that you're aware of that could use some help to get their life back on track, I'm going to encourage you to seek them out and be a participant in helping these men and women get their life back on track. It's been a tragedy what happened. It's been difficult, but we want to encourage you, and we really want to be part of that recovery for you.
This last DOJ, when we were all being persecuted, it seemed that they were the hardest on the veterans because they used our military background against us. There's Army Rangers that were arrested, the Green Berets that were arrested, Special Forces, the great MPs. They used our military training and our military background against us, and it seemed that most of us got more time because of that. And it was a tragedy what happened, but I'm glad that we're on hopefully we can keep good people in charge of our government.
Absolutely, I think that's key, and that's our future. Why don't you close us out, Barry?
Well, I had one more thought before that.
Go ahead.
And I just want to get this out there. People think that this shit will never happen to them. Right. And regardless whether you should have been there, whether you shouldn't have been there, that's irrelevant. Right. The aftermath, people trust the system and they expect the system to have our best interest at heart. And guys, this shit can happen to anybody. Anybody. Right?
Happened to President Trump, the big man.
It happened to President Trump.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if people don't like what you're about or what you have to say or they disagree with it, man, I'm not here to vilify anybody, man. All I'm trying to make everybody see is it could happen to you, right? I mean, we are not our worst decisions. Everybody has a past.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good closing point. And we'll give you an opportunity to say anything else you want to put out there, brother. But man, I'm just proud of how you came through all these trials and tribulations. And it seems like you're doing really well, and it brought you closer to our Lord and Savior. It brought you closer to your pursuit of spiritual enlightenment and your belief system. And I love that, man, because that's where I was watching The Equalizer the other day. I was telling you, I think Equalizer 3, it's like, man, you know, Denzel, we don't like Denzel, right? It's like, man, I understand pain. I understand suffering. I understand hurt. I'm starting to understand peace. And you can't take that away from me.
Yeah. And you know what? When negative, mean, ugly, nasty things happen, peace takes on a whole new definition. And to find a way to embrace peace after many of the things that you've experienced in the last 37 months. Brother, we're here with you. You're in our prayers.
Thank you.
Your other fellow J6ers.
Yeah.
I know not everybody was on the positive side of that. I realize that. Okay. We're not here to be political at all. We realize that there were people that did go to cause problems. But that wasn't the majority, and there was no plan.
No plan.
Sometimes lots of groups of people get together and one bad thing happened and things happen. But you stood above it, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you for the pain that made me raise my cane. Right, and this is the second chapter of your life, brother. And good things, man, great things. Great things.
I look forward to getting back out and serving the communities and stuff, and I just hope I can get out and do it. Well, I can now without having the fear of being punished for serving the communities. I'm going to get back into it, but if another administration ever comes back in that's not about the Constitution, man, I pray. We just got to pray for our country to make sure that good people that are out there serving their communities and serving their people don't get punished again for doing so. And I hope that the governments get better, that people in the government get better to do more for the people and serve their people like they're supposed to be doing. So people like us don't have to do as much work. We shouldn't have to, let them do it. And they have the money anyway. So
At the end of the day, the governments don't get better unless the people that are elected
exactly.
are
Yeah.
better. And so one of the lessons I think we can learn is we must strive to elect the best people to do the best job for the people, because it's supposed to be about serving us, we the people. It's not supposed to be an industry. It's not to be a sector of business. Government is supposed to be there specifically to protect and to love the people.
Yeah.
And
Government was there to really settle, from what I've heard, settle disputes between the states and to protect us from the outside, and to help, not to go after their own people. I don't believe we should have organizations in our government to go after their own people.
Right.
So when things change.
Final word. What do you got? Close us out, my friend.
Man, I'm glad you were here. I really appreciate you being open and honest enough to do this. And on behalf of thousands and tens of thousands of veterans, man, thank you for your service. Thank you for continuing to serve. And, bro, this too shall pass. Sometimes you just gotta be still.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself of that, right? Be still. And man, you got this. And
I was forced to be still for 26 months, especially the times we were locked down in that cell. I was forced to be
but
still.
so don't pray for patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
Be still and know that I am God.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's right, man.
And there's power and there's peace. And so, thank you so much for being here. I know after 7 days of disincarceration, it's got to be totally overwhelming.
Still haven't had a chance to even watch TV.
Yeah, so thank you for taking the time to come talk to Bear and I. I know of all the things you want to do, all the things you could be doing, and all the people you'd like to spend time with. You gave Bear and I a couple of hours today. Brother, I say thank you.
My pleasure. Anytime you need me, I will be here.
Chaos Project is a better place today, having sat down and visited and found out some things about truth. Truth is that one thing that, regardless of whether you like it or don't like it, it is still it. And so today, the Chaos Project had a great show. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have an idea for a show, feel free to get on Facebook and send us a message. Bear loves to take messages. You can go to Chaos Project on Facebook and tell us everything you need to know. Please say yes, you love this play. Subscribe. Connect however you can to the Chaos Project. We want to bring you even more exciting conversations with exciting people. And Lucas is a hero to me and to the Chaos Project staff. And not just because he's a J6er, but because he's a survivor of a questionable act. So, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time. This is the Chaos Project. We're signing off.
We'll catch you on the flip side.